Good morning. I am Dr. B. Krishna Reddy, Principal of Samala Krishna Agricultural Polytechnic College, Tangela Varipalli, near Mudivedu, Tamballapalli Mandal, Chittoor district. Today we are going to study the important properties of lubricants. Number 1, viscosity. Viscosity is the property of a liquid or a fluid by virtue of which it offers resistance to its own flow. That is, a liquid or a fluid, when it itself offers resistance to its flow, then it is called viscosity. తెలుగులో చెప్పాలంటే దీన్ని చిక్కదనము లేక జిగురుగా ఉండే గుణము అని అనొచ్చు. Viscosity is the most important single property of any lubricant oil because it is the main determinant of the operating characteristic of the lubricant. Which is the entire lubrication process is based on the viscosity of that substance. So this is the most important property of a lubricant, that is viscosity. If the viscosity is too low, a liquid film or a layer of the lubricant oil cannot be maintained between the two moving surfaces. So excessive wear of surface takes place. So if the viscosity is very low means it is thin, అంటే చాలా పలసగా ఉంటుంది అన్నట్టు lubricant material. Because of this nature, maintaining between the two moving surfaces is very difficult. అంటే ఈ లూబ్రికెంట్ ని జనరల్ గా ఎక్కడ వాడతాము? మెషిన్లోని రెండు మూవింగ్ పార్ట్స్ యొక్క సర్ఫేస్ మధ్య పెట్టి అవిటి రెండింటి మధ్య ఒరిపిడి జరగకుండా ఉండే విధంగా చూడడానికి. ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ లూబ్రికెంట్ అనేది చాలా పలుచగా ఉంటుందో అది జారిపోయి ఆ రెండింటి సర్ఫేస్ మధ్య నిలబడడానికి వీలు కాదు. కాబట్టి లో విస్కాసిటీ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇది ప్రాబ్లం. ఆన్ ది అదర్ హ్యాండ్, if the viscosity is too high, then excessive wear of the surface takes place. So when the viscosity is very high, then friction will develop because of the high viscosity. In general, an oil of high molecular weight possesses high boiling point and high viscosity. In general, how we come to know that a particular lubricant oil is viscous, more viscous or not, is by knowing its molecular weight. So if the molecular weight of a particular substance, lubricant, is high, indicates that the boiling point is also high, and at the same time the viscosity of that particular substance will be high. Number 2 property, viscosity index. With increase in temperature, the viscosity of the oil decreases. It is a natural phenomenon. Whenever a lubricant is heated to a higher temperatures, then the viscosity will decrease and it start flowing freely. Viscosity of good lubricant oil should not change much with the change of the temperature, so that it can be used continuously in varying temperature conditions. But the lubricant which is a best lubricant should possess the viscosity index in such a way that with changes in the temperature also, it should not change its properties too drastically. Definitely when the temperature increases, the properties of the lubricant substance will vary, but it should be minimum, so that the properties of the lubricant will be there to serve as a lubricant. The state at which the viscosity of the oil changes with temperature is measured by the scale viscosity index. That is, it is the temperature at which the viscosity of the oil changes is known as the viscosity index. If the viscosity of the changes rapidly with change in temperature, then the viscosity index is low. On the other hand, if the viscosity changes slightly with change in temperature, then the viscosity index of the oil is high. So To be a good lubricant, it should possess the viscosity index on a higher level. The viscosity index of the lubricating oil is measured with the help of apparatus called Redwood viscometer. Students should remember the name of this operator. There is a very possibility that this question can be asked. What is the name of the apparatus used for the measuring the viscosity of a lubricating oil? The answer is Redwood viscometer. Then the third property, flash and fire point. Flash point, the lowest temperature at which the lubricating oil gives off enough vapor that ignites for a moment when a small flame is brought nearer to it. So this flash point means at this point of temperature, the lubricating material or the substance will give small quantities of vapor. When a flame is brought nearer to that vapor, it will get ignited for a short moment. This is called, this particular temperature is known as flash point temperature. Then fire point, the lowest temperature at which the vapor of the oil burns continuously for at least 5 seconds when a tiny flame is brought nearer to it. So this fire point is beyond flash point, and this is the temperature level at which the lubricant substance will get vaporized and produce sufficient vapors to catch fire and continuously burn for at least 5 seconds when a flame is brought nearer to it. Okay. So first, any lubricant material will come to flash point. Then after some time, after further heating, it comes to the point of fire point. Okay. These are the temperature levels. In most cases, the fire point are 5 to 40 degrees higher than the flash points. So as already told, the fire point is subsequent to the flash point. So in general, the fire point will be 5 to 40 degrees centigrade higher than the flash point. Then flash and fire points do not have any influence on the lubricating property of the oil, but these are important when oil is exposed to the higher temperatures. As far as the lubricating properties are concerned, this flash point or the fire point have no influence, but only use of this is when the machineries are supposed to work under the conditions of increasing temperatures, and this acquire importance because if any lubricating material catches fire at a very low temperatures, then it will be dangerous. So from this point of view, one is supposed to know the flash point and fire point of a given lubricant so that it can be used appropriately in emissions where these temperatures will not go beyond these points. A good lubricant should have a flash point that is higher than the temperature at which it is to be used. That means the conditions under which the lubricant is supposed to be used should have a flash point or fire point which is much higher than the temperatures or operating temperatures of the machinery. A good this safeguards against the firing of firing during the usage of the lubricant. So flash and fire points are determined using Penske Martin apparatus. Students are expected to remember this name also. So this fire point or flash point is determined by using an instrument or apparatus known as Penske Martin's apparatus. P and Penske Martin's apparatus. Then number fourth property, that is cloud point and pour point. When the oil is cooled slowly, that is oil means this lubricating oil, the temperature at which it becomes cloudy or hazy in appearance, it is called as a cloud point. While the temperature at which the oil ceases to flow or pore is called a 4 point. Cloud and 4 point indicates the suitability of a lubricant in cold conditions. So as it is simple to understand, you can say that the temperature at which, and that means the lubricant is subjected to decreasing temperatures. When we start decreasing the temperatures of a lubricant, when the lubricant material or the lubricant oil becomes cloudy or very hazy in appearance, then that particular temperature is noted as a cloud point temperature. Likewise, when we still further reduce the temperatures at a certain level, the oil or the lubricating oil stops flowing, that is, it freezes. That point is known as a 4 point. So, cloud and 4 points indicate the suitability of a lubricating substance in cold conditions. That means, under cold conditions, when the lubrication is used, it should not become cloudy or it should not freeze. It should easily flow and at the same time it should maintain its transparency. Then lubricant used in machines working at low temperature should possess low pour point, and otherwise solidification of the lubricant results jamming of the machine. So a good lubricant that is to be used under low temperature conditions should have a very low pour point. Otherwise, what happens if it is at high low pour point, then it will become solid immediately at a low temperatures, and this create jamming of the machinery. The machine parts will get jammed. Determination of pour point is carried out with the help of a 4 point apparatus. So the 4 point apparatus is the machinery or the apparatus used to measure the pour point. So then the fifth property is oiliness. Oiliness of a lubricant is a measure of its capacity to stick on to the surface of a machine parts under conditions of heavy pressure and load or load. That means oiliness is a character of a lubricant which makes it to stick strongly to the surface at a high pressure conditions. Lubricants having good oiliness stay in between the lubricated surfaces when subjected to high pressure. That means a good lubricant with very good oiliness will have the property of sticking on to the surfaces of the moving parts of the machinery even at a very high pressure or otherwise at a very high load. If the oiliness is poor or low, the oil gets squeezed out of the place, thereby its lubrication action stops. Suppose this oiliness is less, what happens? When it is applied between the two rubbing surfaces of a machine, it will easily get squeezed out of the place and it will be lost and no lubricating action will be there, and therefore the machine parts will get rubbed against each other and they will get damaged. So it is very important property of a lubricant, especially for extreme pressure lubrication. It should have a very good stickiness, or otherwise the lubricant should be very good oiliness substance. Mineral oils have poor oiliness while vegetable oils have a good oiliness. So when compared to the mineral oils, the vegetable oils are preferred because they have a more oiliness. Then the sixth property, that is emulsification. It is a property of oils to get intimately mixed with the water, forming a mixture called emulsion. So emulsification is a property of a substance when it is mixed with the water, then it should form a uniform mixture of a solution called as a emulsion. Certain oils form emulsions with water easily. Some lubricant oils will have a property of mixing with water readily and forming uniform solution known as emulsion. Emulsions have tendency to accumulate dirt, grit and foreign matter. So these emulsions will have a property to attract the dirt and foreign materials, which can cause abrasion and wearing out of the lubricated parts of the machinery. So with these emulsified lubricants, when they attract dirt and other foreign materials, the presence of such dirt and other foreign materials will create abrasion అంటే ఉరుసుకోవడం and causes wearing of the machined parts. So a good lubricant oil should form an emulsion with water to break it determined. So the emulsion that is formed should be very clear and it should not have dirt and other materials to be a good lubricant. This is measured, that is, emulsification of a particular lubricant can be measured by using test called American Society for Testing and Materials, that is ASTM test. So these all students are supposed to remember ASTM test. That means American Society for Testing and Minerals. Then the seventh property, volatility. When a lubricating oil is used in heavy machinery working at a high temperatures, a portion of the oil may get vaporized. That means when lubricating material is kept between the two moving surfaces of a heavy machinery, that is heavy load, and when it start working at a high temperatures, a small portion of the lubricating substance will get vaporized అంటే ఆవిరైపోతుంది కొంతవరకు. This is called the volatility. దీన్నే volatility అంటాం. The oil remaining after a part of as vaporized will have a different lubricating property. What happens when a part of the lubricating material get vaporized? The remaining lubricating material will definitely lost its originality and thereby its lubricating properties are also lost. So a good lubricant should have a low volatility. As far as possible, a good lubricant should have a low volatility, means even at high temperatures and pressures, only very minimum amount of lubricating material or lubricating oil should get vaporized and most of it should be intact. Then only it is known as a good quality lubricant. So the volatility of an oil is determined by using an apparatus called vaporometer. This also students are expected to remember. That is the apparatus name, vaporometer. Then the last eighth property is carbon residue. Lubricating oils have high percentage of carbon in combined form. That is, most of the lubricants will have carbon as a constituent. On heating, when this lubricating substance are subjected to heating, the oil decomposes and carbon is released, which will get deposited on the surface of a moving parts of a machine. This deposition of carbon in machines is intolerable, especially in internal combustion engines. Though carbon deposition on the surfaces of a moving part is not a desirable character in any condition, especially in internal combustion engines. This deposition of carbon is very undesirable, and also in case of air compressors also this is not at all tolerable. Therefore, a good lubricant must have a less carbon residue. So, to say that a particular lubricant is best, it should have a minimum carbon residues in it after combustion or after usage. So carbon residue is estimated by Conradson operators. So this is also important name to be remembered by the student. That is, carbon residues are estimated by dash operators. It is Conradson, Conradson apostrophe s. Sorry, Conradson's operators. Then the ninth property of the lubricants, specific gravity. Specific gravity is nothing but mass of a substance per unit volume. It is very helpful in identifying an unknown oil as it indicates the type of crude from which the lubricant has been prepared. So, this specific gravity, by knowing the specific gravity, we can know from what type of oils given lubricant has been manufactured or prepared. Gravity gives no indication of quality of the lubricating oil, but it is used for internal conversion of weight and volume measurements of an oil. So, while making the lubricants, different quantities of different materials need to be used. So, they can be measured either in weight basis or in volume basis. For interconverting volumes into weights and weights into volumes, knowing specific gravity of that particular substance is very important. From this viewpoint only, knowing the specific gravity is required for lubricating substances. Then, 10th property, mechanical stability. To judge the stability of a lubricant under conditions of very high pressure, different mechanical tests are carried out. One of such tests is called 4-ball extreme pressure lubricant test. 4 అంటే 4. 4-ball extreme pressure lubricant test. This name also students are expected to remember. So how the mechanical stability or by using which instrument mechanical stability of a lubricant is find out means 4-ball extreme pressure lubricant test. This test enables us to determine the maximum load that can be safely carried out by a lubricant. That means this is the highest pressure or highest load which a given lubricant can carry out without getting itself damaged or without getting itself losing its lubricating properties. Then 11th property, corrosion stability. It is estimated by carrying out corrosion test. To reduce the corrosion effects of a lubricant oil, certain inhibitors, that is organic compounds containing phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, chromium, bismuth, lead, etc. are added. So corrosion stability means most of the lubricating oils will have certain corrosive characters in them. To reduce the corrosiveness of such lubricant oils, we will add some corrosive inhibitors. That means addition of these substances will reduce the corrosive nature of that lubricant oil. These are organic compounds, namely phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, chromium, bismuth, etc. Then the 12th property is decomposition stability. Lubricant oil should be stable and should not be decomposed at operating temperature due to chemical actions like oxidation, hydrolysis, and pyrolysis. So, a lubricant oil which is supposed to be effective should not get decomposed at an operating temperature of a machine. Either it may be through certain chemical reactions like oxidation, hydrolysis, or pyrolysis, or due to change in chemical property or physical properties also. A common test for determining the oxidation stability of oils is Sly oxidation test. Very important. The test used to measure or find out the decomposition stability of a lubricant oil is known as Sly oxidation test. SLIGH, Sly oxidation test. A good lubricant should possess low Sly oxidation number. That means it should not get decomposed or oxidated at a very high temperatures only. It should not get at very low temperatures. It should not get oxidized. At a very high temperatures only, it should get oxidized. That too, slight oxidation only is desirable. If it get oxidized mostly, then the lubricant will is not a good lubricant. Then preparation number, precipitation number, sorry. Precipitation number. It is the percent of asphalt present in oil. It is used to differentiate the different classes of the lubricants. Actually, precipitation number indicates only the percentage of asphalt that is present in the lubricating substance. This precipitation number is useful only to differentiate uh, between the various lubricant oils used. Then 14, ash content. Percentage of ash in lubricating oil, especially in already used oil, is very useful in determining the materials that may cause abrasion, wear and tear of the machine parts. This ash content actually measured after using the lubricant, that is in a used lubricant material, the ash content is found out, because if the ash content is more, then it indicates that it is not a good quality lubricant, because the presence of ash content, more ash, will result in the abrasion of the moving parts of the machine. Abrasion means ఉరుసుకోవడం, లేకంటే వేర్ అండ్ టైర్, అరుగుదలకు సూచిస్తాయి. అంటే ఏదైనా లూబ్రికెంట్ ఆయిల్లో యాష్ కంటెంట్ కనుక ఎక్కువ ఉన్నట్లయితే ఆ మిషన్ అక్కడ వాడినప్పుడు, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ అబ్రేసివ్ నేచర్ ఆఫ్ ది యాష్, ద మిషన్ పార్ట్స్ విల్ గెట్ వేర్ అండ్ టైర్, అంటే మిషన్ పార్ట్లు అరిగిపోతాయి. సో కాబట్టి తక్కువ యాష్ కంటెంట్ ఉన్నటువంటి లూబ్రికెంట్స్ ఆయిల్స్ ని వాడడం అనేది మంచిది. నెక్స్ట్ 15th ప్రాపర్టీ, సఫోనిఫికేషన్ నంబర్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ద నంబర్ ఆఫ్ milligrams of potassium hydroxide required to saponify 1 gram of oil. The saponification means it is a process of making a soap. So mineral oils do not saponify at all. If you consider the mineral oils, they never get saponified. That means they were never formed into soaps. Saponification number is almost zero for mineral oils, whereas vegetable and animal based oils readily undergo saponification reaction and form into soaps. So this test helps us to ascertain whether the oil under reference is a mineral oil or it is vegetable or animal oil, or we can also know whether it is a blended oil containing both. So this saponification number is an indication whether the given lubricant oil is either originated from mineral source or from the vegetable or from the animal source. We can also know if it is a blended oil lubricant containing both vegetable and mineral oils also. Then 16th, neutralization number. It refers to the determination of acidic or basic constituent of an oil. Determination of acidic constituents is more common and is referred as acid number or acid value. That means this test is used to find out whether a given lubricant is acidic or alkaline in nature, basic nature. It is defined as the number of milligrams of KOH required to neutralize the free acids present in 1 gram of oil. This is measured in terms of milligrams of potassium hydroxide that is required to neutralize the free acids present in 1 gram of a given oil. Generally, free acids are not present in lubricants unless refined in a faulty manner. In general, most of the lubricating substances will not have any free acids in them, but rarely they may be there because of the refining process may be faulty. If the manufacturers follow a faulty refining procedure in making the lubricants, then there is a chance that free acids may be present in the lubricating substances. A lubricating substance should possess acidic value less than, it is given as 1, it is wrong, less than zero point 0.1. That means it should be very, very minimum. Acid value, if it is greater than zero point 0.1, indicates that the oil contains more free acids, which may lead to corrosion besides gum and sludge formation. So, the benchmark level for the acid and free acids in a given lubricant is should be less than 0.1%. Suppose if it is more than that, it is dangerous because it leads to corrosion. That means the moving surfaces of a machine will get corroded or wear and tear will take place. Not only that, gum formation or sludge formation takes place in the machine where this lubricant is being used. Then 17th point property, iodine value. It is the number of grams of iodine that can be absorbed by 100 grams of oil. Iodine is absorbed by the oil due to the unsaturation of a hydrocarbon chain. Iodine atoms attach to the carbon atoms at the double bond, thereby saturating the oil. Actually, these lubricant oils, which are of hydrocarbon nature, they are unsaturated, and therefore, to become saturated, when they come in contact with the iodine, they will absorb the iodine. So the iodine values are expressed in terms of grams of iodine that can be absorbed by 100 grams of lubricant oil. Iodine value indicates the extent of unsaturation in the oil and consequently its drying quality. So, iodine value can serve as the basis for classification of vegetable oils as drying, semi-drying, and non-drying oils. So, this iodine number is useful to classify the vegetable oils which are used as a lubricants as drying oils, semi-drying oils, or non-drying oils. Then 18th property or the last property of lubricants is aniline point. This is a point, this is the point where the minimum temperature at which equal volumes of aniline, that is C6H5NH2, and the lubricant oil are miscible. Miscible means combined uniformly or dissolve into each other in any proportion. When these two substances are available in any proportion, then also they will get uniformly mixed up. That is known as miscible. Defined as the minimum equilibrium solution temperature for equal volume of aniline and oil sample. That means this is the temperature, minimum temperature at which aniline and the lubricant oil get miscible. It gives an indication of the possible deterioration of oil in contact with the rubber sealings, packings, etc. Actually, this aniline point is an indication that When the lubricating oil come in contact with the rubber sealings and packing materials of a machinery, to what extent it will get deteriorated, that it indicates. The temperature at which the two phases, that is oil and aniline, separate out is recorded at the aniline point. That means the aniline point is the minimum temperature at which the lubricant oil start deteriorating when it comes in contact with the rubber sealings or packing materials while in operation or while it is machinery is working. So with this 18th point aniline point, we are concluding this chapter. Thank you.